Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Hello and welcome into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm your host tonight, Cassidy Wood, joined alongside Andrew Fillipponi. And Andrew, an electric night over there at PNC Park. Our own hometown kid, Cole Young, blasting a two-run bomb to take down the Pirates, 3-2. The final score, blasted it off of Mitch Keller. So pretty impressive. You always love to see the hometown kids come back. It stinks when they're playing for the other side, though.
Well, and this happens all the time to the Pirates. I mean, J.J. Weatherhole, his numbers against the Pirates are, unreal. And he's done his best work early in his career against the Pirates. And he's probably going to do it for another 10 years against them because he's very early in his career. Ian Happ's numbers against the Pirates are Hall of Fame worthy. I mean, if he only played the Pirates, he'd be in Cooperstown when his career was done. And he is always on base against them, and he's usually hitting home runs and getting critical hits to win games when he comes back to Pittsburgh. So just now add Cole Young to that list. It was, I thought, a tough call by Donnie Kelly to even have Mitch Keller in that situation to begin with. You've got all these lefties coming up for the Mariners in that seventh inning, and I get it. Mitch Keller to that point in the game had done very well. But once he let the first guy on in the seventh inning, to me, that would have been a good time to pull him. The Pirates need to stop acting like Mitch Keller is a number one or number two starter. And you don't afford Mitch Keller the same opportunities to go deep into games and potentially blow games the way that you would with Paul Skeens. His ERA in June, I think, was over 7. So if we're talking about Mitch Keller from last year in the first half of the season, yeah, I have more faith in him getting through that seventh inning. But once the runner got on, and you've got those lefties coming up, and lefties kill Keller this year, I would have had Mason Montgomery come into the game. And once he did come into the game, Cassidy, he had 3 strikeouts. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
And if they had made that decision sooner, they might have won tonight.
Yeah, he looked really, really good tonight. That's for sure. How much of this do you think, Pony? I mean, these starting pitchers haven't really gone very long, none of them really hitting in the seventh inning. How much of this do you think, we're halfway through the season, maybe Donnie Kelly is trying to keep these starters in a little bit longer now?
Well, I don't think he's ever in a hurry to get to his bullpen, and I can't blame him for that. The bullpen has been awful. The bullpen's blown as many saves as it's converted saves. So I think that is part of it, but also you're dealing with Mitch Keller, who in many ways has been a ticking time bomb lately. And especially when you're going through an order for a third time, and there's a lot of lefties due up. I think there's got to be a shorter leash there. Even though, you don't really trust your bullpen to get 9 outs ever in a game. Your offense should have scored more runs tonight, and that would have made it a moot point, but they didn't. They got a lot of runners on. The Mariners made errors, but they only cashed in 2 runs. And the offense has been great for the vast majority of this first half of the season. But it's really cooled down lately, and it's really underscored, Cassidy, how much they miss not only Connor Griffin, but especially O'Neal Cruz. They're now 3-11 since O'Neal Cruz got injured. And that really is a testament to how valuable he's become for the Pirates this year.
Yeah, not a lot of runs scored tonight, but Marcell Ozuna did get that RBI single, and he's batting now, I believe, like 292 through June. We heard time and time again going into this season, he sometimes has a slow start. Sometimes the $12 million, maybe it will pay off if you just hang on a little bit more. Do you think maybe we're seeing the tides turn a little bit with Marcell Ozuna now?
Well, a little bit, yeah. I mean, he was hitting below 200. He was awful for the first month and a half of the season, 2 months of the season. Okay, so in that respect, certainly. They don't play him enough, though. I mean, it's hard for me to say he's going to get hot or he's turning a corner when he's in and out of the lineup so much. I was a little bit surprised he started tonight because it was a right-handed pitcher on the mound, and his numbers are so lousy against right-handers, but he got a big hit, as you pointed out. So to me, I would play him again tomorrow, and I would see if your $10.5 million investment can sometime very soon here pay dividends, because if not, with Cruz and Griffin coming back, there's going to be fewer opportunities for Ozuna. So he's really got to show them that he's in a groove if he's going to come out of this funk, because the playing time, I think, is going to be even more sporadic once the Pirates get to full strength.
Yeah, and Connor Griffin starting his rehab assignment today out there in AA Altoona. He's getting that start tomorrow. What do you hope to see out of him? I mean, obviously, we heard from Donnie Kelly today saying he wants to see him make the defensive throws that a shortstop at the major league level needs to make, especially battling the type of injury he has, a forearm sprain. That's not easy, especially to play at this level at. So is that primarily what you're hoping to see out of him tomorrow?
Well, yeah, I just don't, as long as he throws the ball effectively to first base, which I don't see why he wouldn't, given how precautionary they've been with this injury. I think they admitted that today, that they're looking at this as a huge investment, $140 million move, and they don't want to risk something this early in his career. So they'd rather be safe than sorry. But that being said, as long as he doesn't complain of anything and his timing doesn't seem that off, as a hitter, then I would say by the weekend he should be here. I mean, give him a couple games in Altoona to get his feet back under him. And then, if he wants to play Saturday, Sunday, even Friday against the Reds, I'd be all for that, because we know what Jared Triolo is. He is a defensive replacement. He's a guy that comes late into games with a lead and can play defense for you and bail you out there. But he's not an everyday shortstop, and he's shown that. He has really struggled. And that was predictable, what he's done offensively for the Pirates since the Connor Griffin injury.
Yeah, sometimes he hits straight into double plays, too. All right, guys, this
is
a
lot of that, yes.
All right, this is our Penn West University question of the night. How concerned are you about the Pirates for the rest of the season? After the loss tonight, they do drop one game below 500 now halfway through the season. So let your voice be heard there. Use your phone, scan the QR code. And with that, we're going to take our first break. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Nightly Sports Call. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night from the MLB. Cole Young's go-ahead home run in his Pittsburgh homecoming is the difference for the Mariners. So like we said at the top of the show, Cole Young getting his 7th home run of the season here at PNC Park to snag the win away from the Pirates in his hometown ballpark. So pretty cool moment for Cole Young, pretty bad moment for the Pirates. But Pony, we're in the middle of a 6-game home stretch here, exactly halfway through the season. How crucial do you see is it from your eyes to at least come out of this with 3-4 wins out of this whole stretch?
Well, you'd like to think so. I mean, the Mariners have not had a good year yet. Still a lot of talent on that team. They went to the ALCS last year. They were a win away from the World Series. Yeah. And Cal Raleigh has had a horrible year. He had a home run tonight, but overall he's been a disaster after one of the great seasons ever by a catcher in 2025. So that team I have confidence in snapping out of their funk and the malaise they're in. The same can't be said about the Pirates because they have no track record. So to me, you're pretty much buried in the division, which is a shame because we're not even technically at the halfway point of the season yet. You're 10 out, and that's a problem. The Brewers, yet again, are defying the odds, and they look like they're the class of the division again. The wild card is very much in reach, and last year it only took 84 wins to get in. That was the Reds because the Mets collapsed. So you're not out of the ballgame there at all. I mean, you're going to get Cruz, and you're going to get Griffin back. You'd like to think your starting pitching is going to get better, that Skeens is going to eventually start winning games again, that Keller's not this bad. I actually think, believe it or not, Cassidy, that ever since the Pirates made that decision with Majinski, I think Chandler's pitched well. I think Chandler actually had a really strong month of June and something worth building on. So, I think that's a big positive. And really you're competing with the Cubs, the Cardinals, the Padres, the Diamondbacks. I mean, at least 2 of those teams are going to get in.
Yeah.
And I don't see a reason why the Pirates cannot come out of that group and make the playoffs. I think the Braves and Phillies will both get in from the National League East, but after that, Marlins, Nationals, Cubs, Cardinals, Pirates, Diamondbacks, Padres, you've got like 7 teams there. And I don't think the Pirates are really any worse than those teams that I'm talking about. They should definitely have a shot at making the playoffs with the team they have.
Yeah, we'll see. With that, let's go out to the phone lines. We do have a caller favorite, Chuck in Uniontown. Hi, Chuck.
Good evening, Cassidy, Tony. Yeah, the Pirates need to. One thing that bothers me: 20-20 at home. No, you got to be 10, 15 games over 500 at least in your own ballpark. And this is, perhaps I'm hoping that maybe when Griffin and Cruz come back, there will be a big second half. But let's face it, there's two big things that the Pirates need to shore up if they're going to make postseason play. It's just simply this: the bullpen needs to shore up, and the situational hitting has to get a lot better. But above all, start winning games at home. Mm-hmm. You can't make the playoffs with 20-20 at home. That's terrible. So, yeah, there could be material for the second half, for a big second half, but they got to get it going, and they got to stop the things right now. You shouldn't be losing one-run games like this in your own ballpark.
Yeah.
That's not the way you do it.
Yeah, I think we agree with you there, Chuck. And I mean, there's a lot of glaring statistics you could look at right now. I mean, I'm sure you and Richie last night talked about Paul Skeens 0-7 in his last 7. And so, yeah, I agree with you, Chuck, that, you can't lose games in your hometown ballpark. That is a fact for sure. Hopefully they can turn that around. Also, Pony, I wanted to get your opinion. So this Brendan Sorsby stuff that came out today is pretty insane. Texas Tech quarterback obviously has had his run-in violating NCAA rules when it comes to gambling. I believe it was over $90,000 he spent gambling on sports, that college or pro sports, and also when he was at Indiana, gambling on his team in Indiana. And because of that, he was ineligible for this upcoming college football season, and he was trying to get drafted in the supplemental draft, but the NFL came out today and said, no, that's not going to happen. We're not going to hold one, and essentially told him you have to wait and get drafted in 2027. Well, he's also ineligible to play college football, so I guess, I don't know, he'll go play in the CFL or something like that. But I was pretty impressed with how quickly the NFL responded today and how, I don't know, they kind of shut it down really quick. Were you shocked by that at all? Or is this the NFL kind of, I don't know, trying to put these college kids in their place a little bit because maybe they come out after all this NIL money and they have unreal expectations?
Well, I think the NFL didn't want to establish a precedent that if you gambled in college, you could just quit college football and play in the NFL. And I think they take this offense, this crime, way more seriously than they do, if somebody had gotten arrested in college or if somebody had flunked out of school or something like that. I mean, this obviously questions or calls into question the integrity of games. In the NFL, people say, and I get it, they'll say things like, well, who's the NFL to judge this guy? They make all these deals with sports books. They have no right to then punish a guy who bet on games. Well, actually, because they're in business with the sports books, I think they have more reason to punish this guy because they don't want any illusion. They don't want fans to think that the games are rigged or that there are people in the games that are on the take or taking a dive. And so that's why they've got to come down on these guys. And look, I mean, he probably has, we'll see. I mean, he probably has a legal foot to stand on, per se, that, I gave them all the information they needed. I filed in time. I didn't miss a deadline. I told them I was going to go into the supplemental draft. I gave them ample notice. And the NFL's reason today was, well, you didn't give us enough time to vet you. Well, then your deadline was fake. Is there a different deadline for people who bet? So that to me didn't make sense. They really just did not want somebody in the NFL this year who escaped college football punishment for betting. And betting while he was in college at Indiana and betting on Indiana games, which makes it even worse. I think some people get confused. He did not, to the best of our knowledge, bet on Cincinnati games that he played in.
Right.
This is while he was a bench player. And so that's why I don't think his career should be over at all. Like, I don't think this guy should be banned for life. But, I mean, to me, this is a chance for Brendan Sorsby to show over the next few months that he's a reformed person, that the betting is behind him, and then he gets really all next spring in the draft process to prove to teams that he's a different guy and they should take a chance on him.
Where do you see him playing this fall then, though? Do you see him just kind of like working out in Florida and just taking a year off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see him playing. I mean, I don't, Texas Tech, I think, would want him back, but the Big 12 is pretty much going to make them forfeit games if he plays.
Right.
So I don't see a compromise there. He's pretty much a pariah in college football. The CFL season's already started. The UFL season's already over. So I don't think he plays. I think he works out. I think he trains. And I think he just tries to keep a low profile and keep his nose out of trouble all football season. Don't bet on football games this fall. And that'll go a long way, I think, in proving to people that he can be more disciplined and not stray and not get himself in trouble with the team that drafts him eventually.
Yeah, I just remember, too, everybody was talking a lot about this upcoming quarterback draft class that will be available next year. And if these NFL GMs and front offices are looking at his tape from 2025 and he's already going to be in a competitive quarterback class, I just feel like having a year off like this is just really going to set this kid back.
Oh, it is. I mean, but the thing about it is, Cassidy, is that quarterback's the most valuable, important position. And, yeah, college tape means a lot. I mean, that's pretty much what got Mendoza all the way up to being the #1 pick.
Right.
But if he gets invited to the combine and does well, if he does well at his pro days, if he goes to team visits and shows them that he's done a 180 in life, I could see his draft stock rising. Now, right now, at the moment, I don't think he'd be a first-round pick, but I think he could be a second or third-round pick, provided he doesn't get in any more trouble.
Yeah. We'll see how this all plays out. It'll be very interesting to watch, that's for sure. All right, guys, we're going to head to our last break. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Nightly Sports Call. I'm your host, Cassidy Wood, joined alongside Andrew Fillipponi. And Andrew, we only have about 30 seconds left here, but what do you predict the rest of this homestand is going to look like? What's the record going to be for the Buccos come Sunday night after that win? I mean, a loss tonight, so you think what, 4-2, 3-3, 2-4?
I think 6-1. I think they win the next, well, no, not 6-1, 5-1. They're going to win the next 5 games. Yep.
All right, we'll see if that happens.
Take it to the bank, Cassidy.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me tonight, Andrew. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Same place, same time.